what doctors should tell you about conception and pregnancy. I am Liz Roman, a functional nutritionist specializing in gut health and constipation, but I'm also in my third month of my second pregnancy, and there's some things that I really feel passionate about sharing with you from my experience, both with my first pregnancy and almost having a near-death experience in labor, all the way through fertility conversations for 2 years with our doctors, and now through the first trimester of this pregnancy. I have definitely been let down, I feel, by conventional medicine, as there's so many things that we don't get support with and that we should. And so I hope that I can shed light on some of those things and really encourage you if you are preparing to conceive or are currently pregnant, so that you can support your body to have the best pregnancy and really optimize as much as you can. We know with pregnancy, there are so many things that are really out of our control, but there are also a lot of things that are within our control. And those are the pieces that I want to talk with you about. Number one is nutrition and diet. This is a miraculous event. I would beg to argue that this is the biggest event of a woman's life when we are creating human life, right? Like, what else is bigger than this? And you might do it multiple times, like myself and many other women. And what we like to say in the functional world is that this is one of the most nutrient depleting times when we give birth, but it's also one of the highest nutrient need times as we go through pregnancy, yet that's not really talked about. In my latest conversation with my OBGYN, she said to me, it's good to eat a healthy diet. The baby doesn't get everything that you get, but it's good to eat healthy. And that was the extent of the conversation. And I just don't think that that's due diligence. For such a major event, we could do better. And so we're going to cover that in another video. I'm going to share different resources with you, things that I have done or tips that I've even given to some of my clients that I have worked with through preparing for conception and then all the way through pregnancy or multiple pregnancies and postpartum as well. I also want to cover things that, we don't talk about enough, and that is diastasis recti, or the separation of the abdominal muscles and our pelvic floor. As a gut health specialist specializing in constipation, that's really, really impactful. And while I understand that OBGYNs are not trainers and they are not pelvic floor therapists, I do think there should be some sort of conversation other than don't get your heart rate above a certain, level, which has been debunked in research. It really should be in each trimester, here's things that you could be doing to support your body, because we know there's many programs out there, and I'll share the ones that I'm following that can really help you prepare for birth and also prevent, some of the diastasis recti or separation of the abdomen, and make labor and delivery and postpartum much easier if we can strengthen those muscles and strengthen and, support the pelvic floor. I also want to cover different supplements and natural things that are very helpful during pregnancy. There are some things that doctors will generically recommend, like a prenatal with folic acid, but folic acid is synthetic, and many women actually struggle to break that down and turn it into the usable form, which is folate, and this is due to genetic mutations. We also think about postpartum and postpartum depression, and one of the things that we've seen in research is that if somebody is not able to take that folic acid and convert it into folate, and this dirties up our methylation pathways, that can lead to higher rates of postpartum depression. So it's a very simple fix. It's a very, straightforward conversation in terms of folate is natural, folic acid is synthetic. Let's just change the conversation, but yet they're still recommending folic acid. For some individuals, it might be that you want higher levels of folate because of genetic mutations or family history or history yourself, maybe of tubal miscarriages or other types of miscarriages. So those are things we're going to dive into. We're going to talk about the importance of choline for baby's brain and development. Also for mom, we're going to, of course, talk about, supports for constipation, heartburn, and nausea that are all natural, not just throwing Colace or Miralax your way, Tums down your throat to suppress that heartburn. Because in fact, stomach acid is one thing that we should be supporting throughout pregnancy, because we want to optimize the breakdown and absorption of all the nutrients, because baby is getting all of that. It is, something that we need to focus on more than we do. And it is just, again, not your fault. This is something that is broken in the conventional medicine system when we think about the support for mamas. I would even add here, when we think postpartum, right? What do we get, ladies? A 6-week checkup? I had an emergency C-section, nearly died, and I have a 6-week checkup. So there's some things that I'll share with you about my journey that I hope will resonate with you and just give you the knowledge and information and empowerment to stand up for yourself and demand better. Marcus was kept from me after my emergency C-section for a day and a half. And I just don't think that that is okay. And it's not something that should have happened. I wasn't recovering well. I understand, right? Like I had magnesium pushed on me. I was super swollen. My blood pressure was really high. But to keep my newborn child away from me and that skin to skin contact is not right. And so again, these are things I just want to empower you with. So stay tuned for the coming days as we're going to dive deep into each of those topics in their own individual videos, sharing all the links and all the resources that I can with you. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below.